Hello and welcome to episode 190 of the SideQuest podcast. I forgot what podcast I was on for a second there.
He's so cool. He's on so many.
It's true.
No, I just need a firmware update.
Yeah.
Need a firmware update. Yeah.
Just need some new software. I got to update that software and get the newest edition going. The 2023 model.
No, then you'll be you're only 3 months away from 2024, bro.
That's true. I should just hold out, right?
You should hold out until 2024.
It's like when you got that
Maybe I'll wait
Windows
till they
update
come out with
there.
the Briar Slim.
Yeah. You can always add on the disc, though, if you feel like it. I'm not sure that works as well, but
I don't know what I'd use that for, but I definitely want to get it.
Get another slot. Could always use an extra slot.
Been a couple weeks, guys. How you all doing?
It has
Watts,
been.
you were in Japan?
I was in Japan. I got back on Thursday.
Welcome home.
Thank you.
Bet you Japan was cool.
Yeah, it was. The first week was awesome. I say that just because the second week I got news that Bella wasn't doing so good. So I was like, maybe I'm going to have to come home early. And then Tomo got sick. And then I thought I got sick. But then I actually got sick. And then I got Tomo sick. So for the last week, we were just like...
You're just like dragging.
Yes.
What a web.
Yeah. So like 2 of my days were just sleeping.
Sleeping in
that's
bed.
no fun being sick on vacation. That's the worst.
Yeah.
Luckily, we did pack everything into the first week. So the second week was kind of just like, here's some things we might want to go check out. But the first week was like, here's all the things we want to do.
Mandatory. Well, Japan is still a great place if you're going to get sick somewhere.
It's true. Yeah.
Still cool to be in Japan.
We still managed to go to the
free,
concert.
Do they have free healthcare for foreigners? Like when you go to like
No, it's not free, but it's cheaper than the US. So
well, everything's gotta be.
Yeah, definitely. But luckily we're still able to go to the concert because my God, going to that concert was like jumping through 800 loops.
Which concert?
It was a Creepy Nuts concert.
Oh, okay.
No, it's Creepy Nuts concert. They are a rap and DJ duo. And then the opening act was Dragon Ash, which is a group that's been around since like the early 90s, who are kind of responsible for bringing rap into Japan. So they were the opening act. But so this website, we had a friend 2 weeks in Japan before we got there. And he was just going to wrestling shows. He went to like 15 wrestling shows in 2 weeks. Crazy amount of wrestling shows. And he was like, I've been able to get tickets for every single place except that one website, which is called Pia. And it's because you need a Japanese address, a Japanese phone number. You cannot use like a hotel phone number. They have to actually like text you and call you. And so luckily Tomo's brother moved to Japan. So we had one ticket through him. And then we were able to get some more tickets through Tomo's parents' Japanese SIM card.
Whoa.
Because an eSIM doesn't work either. Like it has to be an actual physical SIM card.
Why is it so hard to get? Is it like that popular?
Man.
Or is it they just don't want foreigners?
It's to stop resellers, but yeah, a lot of stuff is very, very difficult for foreigners to do anything. Because even when you're there, like obviously they're only speaking in Japanese. So if you don't understand Japanese, even if you do manage to get there, it's going to be a whole thing that's confusing. So even the ticket is crazy. So they send you this ticket and you can't just take a screenshot of it because when it is 1 hour before the show starts, this ticket turns into like a circle. It's a blank white page with a circle on it. You get to the front and they actually do this with their finger on your phone in a circle. And when they complete the circle, it loads another website. And it's only available for that 1 hour before the show starts.
Oh my God.
It's crazy. So I get to the front, my pocket Wi-Fi isn't working. So when she's doing this to do my ticket, it doesn't load the web page. So then I have to go to a whole other counter. I have to tether to this Japanese man's phone. And then eventually it did end up working. So that was
it was the second time I got the clap.
Yeah, that's the thing about Japan that you have to love though. When they have stuff too, it has to be done exactly like that. There's no change in that process. It does not matter it can only be done this one way.
It does not matter. And I mean it's good and bad. Like it's bad because it's like if you have anything go wrong, you're just screwed. But it's good in that like they have the station set up, right? In case people's internet isn't working because there's like hundreds and hundreds of people there. So maybe your connection isn't so good. So they make sure that their system's gonna work. It's just, oh my God, that was crazy. But it was probably one of the best experiences of my life.
Wow.
They don't allow any cameras at all. So there's no cameras and no one's on their phone. And it felt very much so like going to like a 90s, right at the beginning of hip hop getting more mainstream kind of concert. It had that kind of vibe to it. And everyone's doing like sometimes in the song
like
clapping.
Right when Vanilla Ice broke.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's like clapping at the same time, and then you'll do like hand waving, and then you'll do it's really interactive with the crowd. So it's really special.
Yeah,
if you can go to a concert in Japan, maybe not through Pia, but if you can go to one where you buy the ticket from the convenience store or something, definitely try to. It's really special.
That sounds
Like
cool.
Briar goes to like Vanilla Ice, not like Jay-Z or anything, but like like Vanilla Ice. It's pretty good. The biggest in 90s hip hop, that one song.
It was the biggest song.
Speaking of
Segue.
Japanese people keeping foreigners out, I just watched the most interesting animated series on Netflix. It's called Blue Eye Samurai. Have you guys seen this?
I have it on my watch list. It just came to Netflix. So yeah I got back and added it to my list. I haven't watched it yet though.
It was fantastic. So
I've heard good stuff.
I'm just going to set up like basically the outline because I don't want to ruin it for anybody because it's really, really good. And it's definitely worth watching. I think it's 8 episodes and each episode is like an hour long.
Nice.
But basically, little girl, half Japanese, half British, I guess you'd say. You don't really know who her father is. But there is 4 like white men that came to Japan before Japan kicked out all foreigners, right? And then when they kicked out all the foreigners, all of the mixed race babies were looked down on at the time, according to the cartoon, right?
Mm-hmm. That sounds
according
about
to the
right.
cartoon.
Sounds about right for just about every country.
She was beat up as a child. She had to live in hiding. And then she trained herself to be a samurai by working at a blacksmith and like watching as the samurai would practice outside. And then she goes on this revenge quest against her father, but she doesn't know which of the 4 are her father.
Oh,
but it's so well done. The animation is so good looking. Like it
looked great.
I haven't seen anything this cool since I saw Arcane, honestly. Like it's like the coolest thing I've seen since Arcane, like animated wise. It's really fun. The characters are really engaging, and it's not like, oh, I'm just this paragon of light. It's like characters have depth, they have like emotion, they have, different motivations. Like the good guys do bad stuff and the bad guys do good stuff. It's a very cool show. I was really impressed by it. As opposed to the other samurai cartoon that came out also this week, the Onimusha. Onimusha.
Oh,
I saw that.
Onimusha got an anime. Yep.
Boo! It sucks. It's so bad. I don't know.
That's unfortunate.
Maybe anime people are gonna like it. Like people who enjoy anime, which I am not really. There's been a certain few that I've really liked. This one, it was like, I don't know. It looked cool, but it didn't look like really like expensive, if that makes sense. Like the backgrounds were often very plain and like the animation of the main characters looked okay, but I don't know. I just couldn't get into the story, and I don't know. It wasn't as good. But man, Blue-Eyed Samurai.
Blue-Eyed Samurai. Yeah,
Very
Blue-Eyed Samurai. I have it on my list. I'll definitely be watching it. I've keep hearing good things because it's pretty recently that it got added.
Yeah.
Very recent.
Very cool too.
I'm gonna watch it. Sounds great.
Because the house or the Usher one, the Mike Flanagan.
Yeah.
The fall of the House of Usher.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it, but meaning I never actually watched his stuff. I've been meaning to, so I finally went and started doing that. So I got done with
Nice.
The Haunting of Hill House, and I'm doing Bly Manor right now. So I'm pretty much on that track for now.
The spook season has.
Just in time for Alan Wake and other things.
How was Alan Wake? You're playing Alan Wake.
Yeah, I don't know if Watts probably had no time to even look at it. I don't know
No.
if that's your type of game anyway, is it?
I would love to play Alan Wake,
Yeah.
but I ain't gonna have time now, I don't think.
Yeah.
Unless I want to put in some crazy hours at the end of the week. I'm still sick, so I keep losing my voice if I speak too much.
You got all of 2024. That's when I'm going to play Remnant, so
True.
we'll trade.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I've only played about 6 or 7 hours of Alan Wake 2. It's been my most anticipated game of 2023. Just because I always loved what Remedy does, the developer behind it. I mean, they're just like an incredible freaking developer from a technology standpoint, but also just from a storytelling and just everything they do. Control was really cool. The first Alan Wake, and way before that, Max Payne. But anyway, I've only done about 6 or 7 hours because it's story driven, and I was playing it on stream and usually worry about spoilers. But basically, all you need to know is, they really went full in on the Fargo meets True Detective meets survival horror, Resident Evil vibes, but also still Alan Wake has always been twisted and creepy, and Control certainly was in its own way. And by the way, those stories all connect, remember? Some people don't realize that, but Alan Wake leads into some DLC content, which goes into Control lightly, but then the very end of Control's DLC is the beginning of Alan Wake 2. So if you really want to play all the stuff, go
Oh, really?
back.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I got literally more Control.
I mean, it would help if you really want to sink into the story, but I just would say none of that's mandatory anyway. At the end
I
of
gotta
the
watch
day,
a YouTube about the end of Control.
Yeah, you could do that, and it's the AWE
do
expansion. The AWE expansion. It's really just like the end, and it's like something's happening in Bright Falls is really which is where this takes place. So it just sort of connects a bit, but the Control stuff, there's references in Alan Wake too. So yeah, you should know that about the story. But anyway, man, they really lean in so much to the True Detective stuff and all that. And a lot of games have tried it. And I bring this up because you'd think I'd be saying, but man, it's so spooky. I love, the flashlight, which you point at enemies to kind of weaken them, and then gunplay and upgrades. And I'm only just getting in it because, man, you start as a detective, and I won't spoil anything, but they set up this whole, if you've seen it, you're putting pictures up on a little board with your yarn connecting these events, and they teach you this whole system.
Fun.
And it is surprising at how much work they put into that piece of it. And it really, the whole beginning of the game is that you're not, there is the very beginning is very on the nose what you'd expect. So super spooky horror. You're down by the lake, and again, I'm not going to spoil anything, and it's telling one side of the story, but then all of a sudden you're a detective, basically kind of with the FBI. And you're going to the town to investigate these events, and then it starts to pick up. But again, the pacing surprised me. And I really like the system. You're asking questions, and that stuff can be boring, but it's really slick how they do it. But then because they do that, and that's what is really interesting, because you spent all this time being a detective in the beginning, when it finally hits, it feels, at least I think that was their intention, it really smacks into the action and the really cool stuff as it starts to open up. So I'm only 6 or 7 hours in. So that's actually what I'm curious to see, is how they handle that pace, right? Because how do you go from that, you keep going in and out of it, and that's probably what they'll do. But there's this component too within that you can walk around town. It's not a huge town. It's a tiny little, Washington town of Bright Falls right on the water, where you're asking a few questions at the diner and meeting a few people from town. And so it's it's not an open world in that sense, but a little bit. But anyway, it's been phenomenal so far. There's been obviously plenty of reviews in that. It definitely seems like it's a Game of the Year contention, and I'm just happy to so far feel that way and hear that. And it seems like it's a must play for the year if you can. So totally my type of game. I'm loving it. It probably will be my favorite game.
I can't wait to jump into this.
Yeah, I'm excited to play it too.
Are you on PC?
Yeah. And
any
thankfully,
performance issues?
No, yeah, it runs great, but I am lucky that I have an RTX 4080, which supports the DLSS 3.5, the path tracing. So they went full in on all of the latest path tracing and ray tracing stuff that is, and it really is one of the best looking games in that sense. And yeah, I mean, honestly, it ran better than expected, but I've actually heard it runs pretty well on all the hardware across the board. So
Yeah, it
pretty
created
sure
a
I got
little
that right.
controversy when they announced their like minimum system requirements, and they were
Mm.
pretty high. Like I can't remember what they
For
were, to be
PC,
honest with you.
yeah,
For PC.
obviously.
But now that it's out, that controversy seems to have ended because it seems like those were aggressive. Like those requirements were aggressive, and it actually will run on pretty potato hardware.
Yeah,
Which is great.
that's good. I mean, again, they are technically really solid. I know that Control has performance issues, and people might remember that even, but that Remedy in general is really solid, and they also have been at this for a long time, and Epic really backed this thing. And by the way, actually, yeah, if you do decide to play it on PC, it's only available on the Epic Game Store, and it's $10 cheaper because
it's a $50 game, right?
well, it's I describe it more. It's a $60 game, but like Epic is giving you $10 off effectively because it's like obviously a huge promotion to maybe try to lure you into the PC store and all that, right? I mean, there's no other reason for them to sell it. Well, actually, from a cost standpoint, yeah, they own the game, so they're paying Sony and Xbox, right, a share. And so since they don't have to pay Steam, they can give it to you for less.
That's true.
Is maybe a better way to look at it, but I mean, I also think they're like, we really want to show that we're serious on the Epic Game Store. It's like all
use my code Creepy Nuts on the Epic Game Store.
Exactly. But anyway, yeah, I'd played Phantom Liberty, if you remember, right before that, and thought really that plus Cyberpunk, one of the best games of the generation. Coming out of that into Alan Wake, and I know I haven't played a bunch of other stuff, but man, what a good time for
They're
gaming.
remaking Max Payne right now too. The first two, which are in the same universe.
Is Rockstar remaking it? Because yeah, Remedy, I don't think has anything directly to do with that.
No, I don't know actually.
They don't own the rights anymore.
But I know somebody's doing it. Like it's in process right now.
Is that an official one?
Yeah, that's
sure it's not
that's official. All
Yeah,
right, you're gonna make me Google this, but
actually, no, you're right. That Remedy is part of. Wow, I forgot about this. You're right. Yeah, because there was this whole contentious thing because Rockstar owns it, and like they, you know, as many people learn, like Xbox owned Halo for a while and all that stuff, or they do. They learned their lessons there because Rockstar owns it. But yeah, I mean, I guess they are. You're right. I forgot when they announced this. They're remaking Max Payne 1 and 2 as a single title. Okay. Totally forgot.
It's fun because that's the same actor who played Max Payne plays a part in Alan Wake 2.
Oh,
but a different character, obviously.
Yeah,
I think. Although maybe he's the same character. I don't know.
Maybe it's related. Maybe it's the character's son, brother, uncle, cousin.
Yeah. There is some crossover of those worlds as well, as I recall. In Alan Wake's writings, I thought there was like Max Payne references and stuff like that. All of it interconnects, which is really cool. So,
and before the show, you said spookier than Resident Evil, but not as spooky as Silent Hill.
Well, I asked Briar, I was like, do you like, Resident Evil? He was like, yeah. I was like, do you like Silent Hill? I was like, I don't know. That one's kind of spooky, right? Yeah. I was like, huh. Yeah, it's freaking wildly creepy. But just because it's rooted in like kind of reality, this twisted reality, it's pretty creepy.
Yeah.
But I haven't played enough. So it's definitely not Silent Hill, but I mean it's got that like twisted, again, it's True Detective meets even that game. It's twisted. It's these dark forces, and it is more than just being like a weird detective game with like zombies. It's a little more rooted in like just twisted weirdness. If you remember Control, some weird stuff too. But
yeah, but that wasn't that spooky, right? This had some spooky moments, but not too scary.
It wasn't rooted in it as much, so this one hits you in the face.
What was that Xbox 360 game? Was it called Outlast? That was scary as hell.
Yeah, that's
Outlast
one of them.
is scary.
Oh, God,
I mean, unless you're thinking of like Condemned.
Heart palpitations. Like I couldn't play it. I had like I can't play this. It's too scary.
Outlast. That's like just full bore, creepy occult, horror, like way over the top. But it's very creepy. That's more in the Blair Witch, etc. This is more. It's hard to describe. It's again the dark forces suddenly. It's creepy. That's all.
Right. I'm gonna
think
give
of
it a shot. I
and
already
it's
bought
Scandinavian. Yeah, it's weird Scandinavian creepy on top of it, which I think is
Yeah, I saw that they took a bunch of inspiration from places in the Pacific Northwest, and then they mentioned a specific area in Oregon that is like full of Finnish communities and people and
Oh.
structures and stuff. Because I
The
saw
Finnish
someone being
are
like,
very spooky.
I saw someone on Twitter saying like, Alan Wake is way more Finnish than it is, Pacific Northwest. And they were like, well, actually, yeah, we took inspiration from this place in Oregon that is full of Finnish people, Finnish structures, Finnish stories.
Yeah.
Can I tell you something that's kind of silly that you might get a kick out of?
Mm-hmm.
You guys remember Bored Apes, right?
What's that?
Bored Ape Yacht Club?
Bored Ape?
The NFTs?
No.
Oh yeah. All the ape. It's funny. I didn't remember it's Bored Ape, but if you just say ape NFT, yeah,
Ape
of course.
NFT. They had a convention recently.
Oh my goodness.
They're still around? NFTs are still a
Yeah,
thing?
apparently.
Like,
I mean, people, they might not be around long after this because at this convention, they blasted ultraviolet light directly into people's faces, resulting in the breakdown of the corneal epithelium.
Oh
And
my
these
God.
abrasions are extremely painful. Everyone who this currently happened to is blind at the moment.
Why
and
did they
it
do
will
this?
heal because they're stupid.
Yeah, but like aside,
They
like
probably
even
were doing a
stupid
lot of
people
They
have
cocaine.
probably
reasons.
thought it was cool.
Something.
They're like, ultraviolet lights are cool. It's like any tech bro stuff. This is cool. And then they don't think about it outside of this is cool.
Yo, it'd be really cool, bro.
Dang.
Yeah, man.
Ultraviolet
Shine
light.
some lights on everybody.
So yeah, they
Sorry.
blinded.
Definitely the stereotype.
They blinded everybody. So
That's wild. This was like basically like a concert-esque event kind of thing or something like.
Yep. So there's just hundreds of people walking around blind who went there.
I had to tell you, in general, I wouldn't want to shine a UV light on a bunch of tech bros. So
Yeah.
just don't need that.
Good point.
Don't need that. That would blind me anyway.
So there you
wish
go.
You were.
Be careful going to tech bro stuff because I don't know. They do stupid things.
Idiots.
Yeah.
That's,
Oh,
I mean, that could be a class action lawsuit right there.
Yeah, I mean, it will be. That's wild.
Yeah. They're like, we think it was less than 1% of those who attended who went blind. So,
well,
it's fine.
About even just one problem from that. It's just crazy.
Yep.
I mean, were they going for like the black light effect and they just like picked the wrong bulbs? Like, what were they doing?
Well, I think you can use ultraviolet, but not directly into people's faces.
Yeah,
like
maybe
if
they
you
use,
pointed
like,
at the
laser
floor,
quality.
maybe it's fine.
Man.
But
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question because it's like black lights in your room. Like that's fine. It must be the intensity, whatever they did, must have been
Sonoma
insane.
says they wanted black light style, but they actually used the kind for medical sterilization.
Oh my God!
So your eyes are now sterile.
I mean, Jesus.
No more little baby eyes running around.
Idiots. Wow.
It's amazing.
Unreal.
Yep.
I don't know. Is that the least stupid thing those guys have done? Because those NFTs are pretty high up there. What's stupider, the NFTs or the blinding people?
Which costs them more money? I don't know.
I don't know. I've been playing Super Mario Wonder.
Oh yeah,
That's been going pretty good. Fran, you said that you're like a
Jealous.
Mario super fan. I'm not a Mario super fan. I am a casual Mario fan. I've never finished any of the NES Mario games. They just don't hold my attention for like a whole game.
I mean, give us a quick setup of like just general memory of 3D and 2D type Marios, like what you like or don't like about them.
I played them all. They just, it's the aesthetic. It's that lightheartedness. Like initially it attracts me to the game and I have fun with it, but it doesn't hold my attention.
So whether it's 2D or 3D, nothing really.
I played all the way through Mario 3D on the N64 when it was new because, I mean, honestly, I'd never seen anything like it, right?
Yeah.
It was crazy. I completely skipped Sunshine. I played a little bit of Odyssey.
Wow, 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 wow.
You know, but I actually really do like the new Super Mario, the series called New Super Mario Brothers
Oh,
that were like for
okay.
the 3DS and the Wii,
The
because
2D
they're very easy to pick up
co-op.
and play and put down, like if you're watching a TV show or, you know, like just kind of like casually like play a little bit, put down. So, and that's kind of what I'm digging about this is like, I just leave it running on my Switch. I can pick up the Switch, play a couple levels. Every level feels different. You know, I'm also playing Mario 3 on the NES for Retro Slot because that's like
dope.
the game of the game of the show
Fucking
for next show. So
legendary.
I'm kind of playing both at the same time. But Mario Wonder is definitely keeping my attention more because it just is changing everything up so frequently. Like
That's what I've heard.
every
That
time
it
you
lives
get
up to the trailer, right? Which was like, man, how are they going to keep this up? That it's always
do.
like different.
Yeah, they really do. Like it's just like a new gimmick. Like it seems like every couple of levels you run into like a completely new gimmick. I can't remember who I heard or read who said this, and I wish I could attribute it correctly, but they said it's every gimmick feels like the kind of thing that an indie game would be built around. But this is just like one level in Super Mario Wonder. You know, like it's really amazing. The animation all feels so tight and the music feels really good, and they changed the voice actor, but I mean everything sounds and feels just kind of like, man, it's like it's just got that Nintendo shine of quality real deep on this one. I think deeper than the new Super Mario Brothers games ever did, which were the previous kind of series of the 2D. I'm really enjoying it. It's really fun. It's very easy to pick up and play and put down. It's got a lot of variety to it. And it's just kind of like, you know, it just kind of like fills you with that sense of wonder that I think they're really going after with the title. You know, you're just kind of like every time you're like, wow, this is completely different from the last level, even though it's a 2D Mario game, you know?
Yeah, I hadn't read that quote, but that part wouldn't surprise me about the indie quality within a level, meaning you forget Nintendo's like prestige and production. And, like they are the best, the most defining. But like that's why I ask about the history because like honestly, there's been so many Mario games.
There's been so many.
And because of that, I think there is this like languishing feeling of like, it's just probably another Mario. And yeah, what are the gimmicks? And it's more Mario. I like Mario, but should I play? And that's what I'm curious once I get to it, because that's where I've been with the 2D Marios. Like I like 2D Mario stuff, but I'm way more like Odyssey was dope, Sunshine was dope, Galaxy, all of them are dope in 3D. There's just like
Galaxy was probably my favorite of the 3Ds, all of them. It was so fun.
Phenomenal games. Actually, across the board.
Now that you mentioned Galaxy, this feels
2.
a lot like Galaxy because in Galaxy, you're constantly doing new stuff, right? It's like they're constantly playing with what you're doing in those two games. So in a way, I don't know. I think the blue-eyed girl got her. The blue-eyed samurai got her.
For those of you listening, it's disappeared on camera. I was just messing, but that's good to hear. Yeah, man, I can't wait to check it out. I think you've encouraged me to and reminded me like you can just hop in and out. Like it's not like you have to like no life it and you know. But I feel like I'm gonna want it.
I lent it to one of my kids, and they no lifed it for like 6 hours. Like they were just like hooked immediately, which was funny. I was kind of like, hey, can I have my Switch back?
Based on our discussions today, what you should do, since Alan Wake is pretty intense, pretty creepy, and that gets to you, so I play a little bit of that and be like, you know what? Need a wonder break. Time for a wonder break. And then, you know, take yourself out. Maybe that's how you finish off. That's like having, you know, it's like dessert.
Yeah.
You know, something just to finish the evening or whatever it is. And then you can come back down and wake every once in a
while. Yeah. Or another game I've been playing, it'd be a very nice, light, relaxing kind of break from Alan Wake is Mortal Kombat 1.
There it is.
Mortal Kombat 1. You finally got it.
Finally got it. Yeah, I finally got it. It's been so fun to play. I've been playing the story. The story's not, I don't think, as good as 9, 10, 11. Their stories. This one feels like they had something really cool going, and then I don't know if something got rushed, but like the story kind of feels like it just like wraps up real quick. So I don't know if they're like trying to set up for another one, or if there was something that happened in development that they just couldn't like go in the direction that they initially
story
could be DLC. Yeah, I don't know. But the actual gameplay, so the story isn't as good as I would have liked, but the actual gameplay I think is more fun than the last few games in the Mortal Kombat series. And it's even like I've even gone online to like battle other players, which I don't do in Mortal Kombat. I just play those stories and I dip. Like I'm a Street Fighter guy. I go play Street Fighter online. But I've been playing Mortal Kombat online. The fighting is real fun. You can't stream this, or you can stream it, but you can't put this on YouTube though, because they'll definitely make your channel an adults only channel because it's gory.
Yeah.
It is real gory, but that's kind of fun. It's gory in kind of a fun way.
That's good to hear. So, I mean, you played 11 as well, though, the story? Because that's what I remember.
Yeah.
You normally play for the stories. And, like, there was if I'm reading this right, you liked 11's, as you recall, story feel better?
Oh, absolutely. 9, 10, and 11, I think, all had kind of this arcing story that Mortal Kombat 1 then builds off of, but it's kind of also a reset. It's kind of like a reboot in world.
Yeah, maybe that's why. It had less stakes.
Yeah, I mean, they set it up, I think, the beginning of the story, actually, they set it up really cool. Like, Liu Kang is now the kind of god. He's like kind of the protector of the realms.
The fire god.
Raiden is now just like a human who is going to take Liu Kang's place as like the one who's got to protect the Earth realm from the outworld, which is kind of fun to like see Raiden as a human and training. It sets up really well, but it kind of doesn't go anywhere that is super important. So you may be right. DLC, maybe they're like kind of saving it for TLC.
Yeah, I don't know. Well,
but it's a fun game. It was definitely a fun game. I would wait.
Yeah, at least it's
sale,
fun. It would have sucked if the story was a bit of a letdown. And
yeah, the gameplay is real good. It was pretty buggy though. There's even some bugs like you couldn't do certain combos if you were player 2 that you could when you were player 1, stuff like that. I would wait for this one to go on sale, honestly.
Yeah, and you'd assume not playing on Switch, the atrociously ported
the top
if you
top
recall.
of the line edition on Switch. No, I played on PlayStation 5, and man, it looks great. What a good looking game! Just so high fidelity. The character models, the backgrounds, just unbelievably good looking.
Nice.
Well, Fran Breyer may not have played Pikmin, but I'll have you know I purchased quite a few Pikmin goodies at the Nintendo store in Japan. Yep.
Let's go.
I did. I got a little vase so you put a flower in, so it's the Pikmin's flower head.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
Makes me very happy. Been harping on Breyer. It's like, yeah, I gotta check that out.
That's gonna be a thing. I'm not gonna play the game out of spite. I'm gonna put it like right here and just have it like just facing out.
He's gonna have it running on his Switch in the background.
Yeah,
just the menu. Be like, oh, yeah. I was
mode.
maybe today after the show. Just always be there, sitting on the main menu.
I actually went to play any games on your trip.
No, not outside of arcade machine games.
Arcade machines. They still have
Japan,
active,
man.
Do they still have active arcades? I thought even at Japan they were closing them down.
No.
They just closed some of the big ones that you heard about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and moved
Sega
them.
had.
What kind of games did you play at the arcades?
My. Because they don't have that over here. So.
Did you play any Taiko Drum Master?
Oh, that sounds cool. What's that?
But I can play that here. I can literally buy it here.
Yeah, but it's not. It's different when you're there with the big
I can go to my friend's house and go play their arcade machine.
Oh, okay. Well, if they have a Taiko,
they have the full Taiko.
Oh well,
machine.
yeah. Okay.
Is it seriously like a big drum and you gotta play it like a rhythm game?
Yeah. You've never seen? Look up Taiko Drum Master. It's one of my faves at the arcade.
Well, it's more fun for the podcast listeners if you explain it. I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I don't know what those types of drums.
Big
are
drum.
called.
You got 2 sticks.
Yeah, meaning
you
it's
hit
the old
sides,
school.
You hit the middle.
Big, old school drums. I don't know.
If
what
you
type
hit the
of drum
sticks,
that is.
do they make that like very specific?
Where's Jay
sound,
Sniperton?
Like, dink. Oh, Jay.
No, but again, it's like the old school like drums.
Okay.
I forget what the type is.
What's
anyway,
my?
Look up Taiko.
It's a rhythm game where it takes place in a circle. Kind of looks like a washing machine, actually.
Oh yeah,
and then
I remember my
things pop up all around the screen, and you have to hit them. And then you have things where you have to slide. You have to tap the screen. You can press the buttons or the screen, but some of them will require you to press the screen. It's very good.
There's just something about. I haven't been in like over a decade, I guess. Oh, so sad. But Japanese arcades, like they're just cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, because we don't have that here. Not that density, right? I mean, we have like Dave and Buster's. And it's just very different.
It just sucks here. It just
And
sucks.
Dave and
And the
Buster's
peop-
sucks. Yeah.
You know what it is? And Watts, tell me if it's the same. But everybody who's going to the arcade, like they are there to play games and like hang and like, but for the games.
Yes.
Like Dave and Buster's, I feel like it's always like begrudgingly like in any arcade, it's like either just for the kids or like, but dude, adults go and like the vibe is they're there for the games. It's so fun.
Like 15 or 20 years ago, I feel like you went to Dave and Buster's for the games, but now it's like the games are all for like kids, it feels like. Now it's a place you bring your kids, where it used to be like a barcade where it was like adults would go and you know, be hanging around, drinking beers, playing some arcade machines, maybe some laser tags, stuff like that. But it's really changed in tone to be like you bring your kids there, the adults get drunk while the kids go and play video games. Yeah. Which kind of stinks. There is still like retro arcades around, which are fun, but they're not new games. Like I'd love to go see to an arcade like in Japan that has new games. That'd be fun.
Oh yeah, you'd love it.
Play some Street
Where
Fighter
did you
6.
play around, Watts? Were you around Tokyo?
We were in Tokyo and Osaka.
Oh, Osaka as well. Dang.
We spent like a week in Osaka. We were there for a
Capcom
big chunk of time.
headquarters.
That is where Capcom is. It is. It's near Osaka Castle. It's very close to there. Which we didn't do the castle because we've been there like 3 times. We don't need to go to the castle again.
I went there once for about 4 or 5 hours to Capcom for, I think it was Resident Evil 4 even, just did a couple interviews. And then there was a,
nice.
What do they call hurricanes over there?
Typhoon?
Typhoon was coming, and I had to catch the last train out, which chased us back to Tokyo, which was, but they were all like, it's very normal over there. They're like, yeah, this is the last one out of here because,
you might die.
It's,
Yeah.
it was like, it's so fast that it wasn't even like, they'll be like, yeah, you'll be there just ahead of it.
The train or the typhoon?
The typhoon, which was chasing us back to, like, it's crazy, but
wow.
Anyway, I miss it. Well, that's cool. So, my, anything else gaming-wise over there, Watts?
No, not really.
Cool concerts.
Yeah, the concert was the best thing.
How long is the flight for you?
It's 10 hours there, 9 hours back.
Oh, that's not too bad. It's a long time to be on a plane.
It is a long time to be on a plane.
Yeah.
And let me tell you,
bring,
on the way back, oh my Lord, I was getting mad.
Wow.
Because there was the people in front of us had their lights on the whole time. And I'm like, guys, please.
Oh my God.
I want to go to sleep.
Oh, you got to bring those little covers for your eyes.
I have to, I mean, they give you one, but the one they give you sucks. So I'm going to have to bring mine.
Can still
no matter
feel
what.
it though.
Your skin can feel
it's
the
like
light.
being in the dentist chair, you know?
And they're bright, like white lights too. It's not like they're nice, chill lights. And then the guy in front of me, he's got his phone on full brightness on like Google or something. So every now and then I'll see it and go, oh, geez. And then some crazy person opened the window while the lights are still off in the cabin. I'm like, guys, it's 1 a.m. in Japan right now. It's 1 a.m.
You don't do
what
that
are you
until
doing?
20 minutes before landing. Like,
yeah,
when
the cabin lights come on, fair enough. But until then,
but don't you want to see all these beautiful views of the water?
Water.
The clouds? You can't even see the water. You just see the clouds. I'm like, what are you gonna? You're not even when you're landing, it's cool, or when you're taking off, you can see stuff. But when you're just in the sky, like 30,000 feet, you're just blinding everyone, and everyone
it's okay
hates
to
you.
like peek quickly, like that's acceptable, because like you might like have woken up and you're like, oh, where are we? You know, and that's fine as long as you close it up pretty swiftly after that.
Yeah,
but leaving it open is insane.
Lights off, everyone's sleeping, and they just. Boop.
Yeah, I mean, normally the attendants will come by too and be like, "Could you, shut that?" Because like it fills the entire cabin. I mean,
it's so bright.
It's like the surface of the sun up there.
Freaking bright.
I was.
I mean, on the way there, people
flight.
were like doing the peak, but they were like, every time they peak, they go, "Oh God!" and then they'd like do it again. I'm like, guys, it's not gonna get any darker. Well, I don't know what you're expecting on the 4th time you're opening the window. Anyway.
I was on a late flight. I think we were going over Washington, D.C., and it was very late at night, and somebody was using their phone to take pictures out the window, but they were using the fucking flash. So I actually had
during the daytime.
No, this was nighttime. I had to tell them, hey, The reason the picture isn't coming out is because the flash is bouncing off the window and blinding everybody in the cabin.
Wow. That
Oh
is
my
wild.
goodness.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was
People
getting
are
like,
strange.
Yeah.
it's so bad. And I'm like, I'm in to go to the bathroom and I'm like, there's freaking water everywhere. I'm like, couldn't you just wipe down the thing before you leave? It even says like, it's nice if you wipe it down because, yeah, just please be considerate.
Just, yeah, like there's a bunch of other people on that plane that don't want to be on there either. Let's make it nice for everybody.
Unbelievable.
Mm.
I don't like planes, man. I would much rather drive if I can. Like, even if it's like an inconvenient, like maybe I gotta stay over like at a hotel halfway through. I would much rather drive because planes are just, it's just too much
Depends on
people.
like my schedule, and yeah, I don't mind them. I guess it's because I've flown so much, but great time to. I was gonna say I play Pikmin, anything episodic. That's my pro tip for anyone. I
Yeah, can't
personally, I
believe
think
you
I
didn't
mentioned
bring
it
a
even last
Switch
time.
or a Steam Deck on the plane.
I didn't just because anytime I have, I just don't end up playing it.
No.
No.
I do. Yeah, but my big trick is episodic TV. I personally, everybody's
That is
different, I
good.
guess, but
Yeah.
I don't recommend watching movies. They're just long and like if you watch something that's 20 or 40 minutes and it's always hanging, it just. I watched Breaking Bad as like one of
that's
my
perfect.
favorite experiences, dude. I didn't even want to get off the plane. Literally, I was like landing in Hong Kong, and I was like, oh crap, dude, I got to finish this episode, and I'd already been on the plane for like 10 hours. Which is a wild experience. And then I'm like, ooh, we got a connection here, though. So I'm going to be able to finish this up.
The year that the Borderlands 3, like that, like, what do you call that? Like launch party?
Yeah.
What was it? We all went out to see Borderlands 3 in LA. And I came back, and then like a couple months later, we went out to PAX. So it was like twice in like a couple months I had to fly across the country. I don't like flying. It's not like I'm scared of it. I just find it fucking uncomfortable and heinous. But for that second flight, I really didn't want to do it. So I did exactly what you said. I downloaded like every episode of Top Gear, the series. And I was just watching Top Gear like the entire time. And it was like the same thing. It's like by the time I got there, I was like, oh, that wasn't so bad.
It flies by.
TV shows are great. Yeah, it's also better for when you're falling asleep too, because you're like, oh, I think I was falling asleep on like episode 5, so you can go back to episode 5 instead of scrolling through the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't do a movie. It's just like I'm sitting there for so long without. It depends on the movie, but even then, I've tried, and based on my personal experience,
And you get a bad
TV.
movie. Ugh.
But even without it, they're just so long. Because then you finish the movie, and then it's like this, like,
You gotta find a
2
new
hours done. What's the
Yeah.
next 2 hours? Like I need like WarioWare, right? Like that's what you want on a plane. Change things up as much as possible, and time will fly by.
That's perfect.
Pikmin is episodic as well, by the way.
That would be good. That would have been good.
The day
Episodic
is
games.
always ending and always starting again. It's perfect for you.
I'll take your word for it.
This guy, dude. He's never going to play it. I did play more on the way to TwitchCon, by the way. Still good.
You did? Oh, how did TwitchCon go?
It was good. It was in Vegas. I think nobody wants it in Vegas again because it's really expensive and also just hard to connect when you'd think like, oh, I'll just take a taxi. But like, again, everything's expensive. It's hard to get a hold of people. Reception sucks. The irony is the reception in, the convention hall is bad. So you had all these people who wanted to do IRL streams are like, it's not happening. Like I tried one and it was a disaster. So not great on that front. But like, it's always good to connect with people. And so good on that front. But it just felt too big and empty and spread out. But did see some good Destiny friends there.
Nice.
And that was good. We saw Jason Arperton, we saw Glad and Clyde, and I met some new folks. And it's always good for that.
Nice.
I got some good news about games I like as I was heading back to the US from Japan.
I like good news.
There was a director's video about Lies of P, and they said that they're working on the DLC. So DLC is being worked on. They shared a couple of screenshots. And they also did say that they are working on a sequel as well. And then they're like, please come work with us because we're a tiny team. And now we have a really successful game and we need to make a bunch of stuff.
Right?
So, yes. Please help.
And they also said that they got a patch coming out in November that's going to make some like pretty like
I'll be right back 1 second.
pretty highly requested changes to the game, and some of it is to make like the kind of the difficulty peaks even out a little bit, so it may be a perfect entrance ramp for new players like who are a little scared off by the initial difficulty of the game.
Yeah, I heard it gets pretty difficult, and I mean, I always want and expect that, but I mean, I guess it gets pretty rough towards the end, and so it was interesting because like in the beginning of the game of what I've played, I've only played for like 5 to 8 hours or something, but the beginning of the game feels reasonably paced out. It doesn't feel like super difficult. It actually feels way more forgiving at first. It's definitely difficult, but yeah, Watts.
Yeah, they changed that.
Does it really get difficult at the end that you can't like sort of just go out and grind and level up, or like what's the
I mean, you can grind and level up. Yeah, like that's definitely a thing that you could do if you're struggling. You can go get some more levels.
What's the need for the balance change, in other words?
People are babies.
You mentioned like a
That's
specific.
what I was looking for.
You mentioned a specific boss.
So
that
you
I guess
didn't
was
have
giving
a problem.
people problems.
Yeah, what was the boss
early
that
game?
was giving people problems?
I don't know. I haven't played the
What'd you
game, so I can't tell you.
I haven't read the balance patch that's coming for November. I just looked at the DLC, and they're letting you have hats and glasses be separated.
Yeah, that's
and they're
kind of
giving
neat.
you more hats.
And the weapons, I guess they're changing some of the weapon combinations to work better together.
Yeah, and to make them more powerful, so you can mix and match more weapons or want to try out some of the weapons.
Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna wait for that patch to
tough
come and
game.
then play the game.
Definitely tough. You can, I mean, if you use throwables in that game, they're incredibly strong. I think you can get through the game very easy if you just throw throwables.
I'm always looking for the easiest way to get through a Souls game. Did that game come out
so many
physically?
pots in Elden Ring. Did what?
Did it come out physically?
Oh, Liza P, like, can you buy it, the disc? I don't know, man. That's Briar question. I always assume that unless you hear that it's not available physically, but usually it's not on every platform, so I don't know. But
yeah, it did. It came out physically. It's $60 too. It's not $70.
But yeah, I mean, I was just reading. According to Gamatsu, who had watched this video, it said the update in November brings significant changes to weapon and character balance, as well as quality of life changes to ease the difficulty in the early stages of the game. Players will also receive a new outfit to show the developers' gratitude because it sold like 1 million units.
Is it my birthday suit? I'm hoping it's a birthday
suit. It sold 1 million, yeah. And it was on Game Pass. Yeah. So the fact that it sold 1 million and was on Game Pass.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible.
So everybody on Xbox played it for free, and then 1 million people bought it on PC/PS4, 5.
Yeah.
Wow,
which
that's
is great.
Impressive. That's impressive.
Yeah, it is impressive. And this is like their second game. So... And they're a pretty small studio. It's really exciting. I think we have an idea, if you play through the game, which I won't spoil, but I think we have an idea what the sequel will be. The DLC is obviously more.
Is there another famous puppet that I'm not aware of?
No.
There's a lot of
Raggedy Andy.
Miss Piggy. Talking about, man. That's going to be the next Liza Piggy.
I am in for it, man. I am sold on that concept.
Dude, how good would that be?
You play as Miss Piggy.
I would love a Souls-like with all of those.
Would that be badass?
It would be. Yeah.
Oh man, you just gave that one away to the world for free. That would sell 1 billion copies.
It's $1 billion idea.
I would love to be Miss Piggy. Yeah,
Miss Piggy in a Souls board with the rest of the Muppets would be
honestly
amazing.
Like now that I say it out loud, like I legitimately that would be a twisted Muppet Souls-like.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
One step away from that.
I'd love it.
But speaking of Souls-likes, Elden Ring gave us an update on Shadow of the Earth Tree. And
really?
You know what they wanted? Yeah, huge update.
Oh.
Development is progressing smoothly.
Oh,
that's it.
Man, I can't wait for
We don't know when
happen.
it's coming out, what it's going to be, but it's progressing smoothly.
It's got to happen next year, right? It's got to be next year.
They don't have to, like that game sold over 10 million copies. They don't have to say or do anything. It's going to sell another, whatever, DLCs, 5 million copies.
Let me have this.
Well, they might be.
Let me have hope in this world.
At the Game Awards. Game Awards is coming up. They might be there. Maybe they'll share more.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't place a bet on what they would do, even based on their history. But like, in other words, we know the anniversary 2 years of Elden Ring is coming up. They could surprise us and be like, it's out February 28th. Boom. There's no more Destiny Final Shape there, by the way. So
Oh,
had all the time in the world.
There's a
Perfect timing.
big final shaped
Also
hole
gives
in
you
February right now.
I mean, it gives you a lot of time to play Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, I was just about
You
to
don't
say
have to worry about
Rebirth
that.
is
that
coming
in
out then.
February?
You do exactly then. Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
I think it's my
Yes.
birthday as
Can't
well.
wait for
Or Final
Rebirth.
Shape was, but February 27th.
Yeah, it's like a couple days after or before.
Yeah,
one
I think
of
it's
those.
the 28th.
I'm gonna
It's
get
like,
you a copy of Pikmin for your birthday this year.
play a copy of Pikmin for my birthday. But anyway, it could. I just doubt that. My guess is maybe they'll have like another development update, a bigger one then. And then the question is it going to be a full 3 years, between? Because they're
Take
doing
all
something
the
really
time
big.
you need. Take all the time you
Yeah.
need. I'm gonna be anticipating it like crazy, and I can't wait. But I can wait because that game was so good. It was so good.
Yeah, it is incredible. So anyway, it's gonna be a while for Shadow of the Erdtree.
I've been kind of like listening to like gaming podcasts, and they're all kind of like starting to like murmur about like doing Game of the Year awards and like how are we gonna make a list this year? It's been such a crazy year, but it wasn't as good as the Elden Ring year because there was no Elden Ring this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all just personal lists, I think is the way to go, which is normally what we do here. We give like our game of the years or games that we've really enjoyed.
Yeah, something like
It's
that.
kind of hard to pick an overall, what is the game of the year?
Yeah. Yeah. It's fun to listen to the arguments, though.
Yeah.
Anything else we want to talk about?
More Souls-like news.
Oh, okay.
Remnant announced their official DLC coming out November 14th. It's called The Awakened King.
Okay.
It's got a brand new storyline. It's adding a new archetype called the Ritualist, and that is an archetype that excels at utilizing status effects. So that's exciting. And then new items, new powerful weapons, new bosses, characters. Yeah. Very exciting. Remnant 2 is incredible.
I know.
So many incredible games.
I had played some, and then I just had to put it down. I got too much other to play, but I am going to. I was joking it'll make a great 2024 game for me.
So many great games this year. It's hard to like play them all. Like
it's genuinely impossible. Like even if you do it like full time, right? Like I'm playing games 40 hours a week. There's no way to play. Like think about that. Like you would not only
because you play Diablo for 200 hours and then you play Cyberpunk for 200 hours.
I know. But even then, it's still paced out. I'm pretty reasonable. Yeah, some people, right, they work 50 hours a week and they game for 40 hours a week and they don't sleep.
They finish games faster than me. I'm like, what are you guys doing? You guys are
They
insane.
don't sleep, man.
Yeah.
But that's what you have to do. But even if you did all that,
that's true.
my point is you could not keep up with this year. It's impossible.
Yeah.
Like I'm dying to get to Baldur's Gate 3.
Same.
I'm dying to get to Alan Wake. So many I want to play still. And like,
did you say Cyberpunk was on your list or no?
Which one?
Was Phantom Liberty on your list or no? Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty.
Oh yeah, that's definitely on my list.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Briar's the same as you, friend. Briar's over there playing Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter.
What am I gonna do? Like, you almost get like
you play
get locked
the new
up by the
character
indecision.
in Street Fighter?
Aki? Oh yes, I have. Yes.
Okay, because she looks awesome.
She is very fun to play, and like all her moves are so like slithery and slippery. And
yeah.
I don't think she's. I'm not a top tier player, so I can't tell you if she's a top tier character. But she's not as good as like other characters in my hands. But she's just as fun, if not more fun, to play, just because she's so entertaining. She's a lot of fun. She's a very cool character. I'm really kind of like, where are all the costumes in that game though? Like they announced like Ninja Turtles for your avatar like costumes, but I want costumes for the actual characters. And we haven't seen that yet. So I'm hoping that happens soon because money is just burning a hole in my pocket.
Yeah.
I need my jury cosplay costume.
Yep.
Oh, there's a ghost behind you.
Alan Wake.
All right, guys. Anything else we want to talk about? Good to go?
Is there anything big coming out in the next week or two that you guys can remember? I don't.
Probably Modern Warfare 3, I think, is dropping or dropped, but not too great reviews, it sounds like.
Yeah, that's right. That was
I've heard
big
the
news.
campaign is a little Yeah, people aren't loving the
Lackluster.
campaign.
IGN called it boring and gave it a 4, I think.
What?
Dang.
But I don't know who that reviewer was, as I always encourage. Like,
Dang.
look it up. But
That
not.
is that's a rough word for a video game.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it
Boring.
was them. Wasn't it them?
Weren't you
Campaign
were
review.
kind of warning us of this, though, weren't you, Fran? Like saying, we still haven't seen anything about the Call of Duty campaign. We still haven't seen anything.
I just
about the
been saying it all year. It was strange that, but now we might know why for that piece of it.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was, honestly, it hasn't taken this long to reveal, and we're past it by now, but it took till like August or something crazy till we finally heard about Modern Warfare. So anyway, yeah. IGN, let's see, who's the reviewer? Because it's super important to know your reviewer. Oh, Simon Cardy. I love Simon, by the way. He's great. From the UK office. Definitely you can trust Simon Cardy. But anyway, he says Modern Warfare 3's campaign commits the biggest sin possible for a globe-trotting action thriller. It's boring. And he gave it a 4. Bad. I mean, you don't see 4s for that. So
you do not see 4s.
Ah, damn.
that's too bad. I don't know, man. Hard to say how we've arrived here, but Microsoft now in charge. We'll see what they do. They've got their hands full.
Did he give? So I don't know how do they review Call of Duty at this point? Do they review the campaign separately from the multiplayer, or is it all just one package?
Definitely there's been split outs of, they review the campaign separately. So you should be able to go back and compare it to Modern Warfare 2 review. But, whether or not Simon reviewed that, I couldn't tell you. But yeah, so, I mean, it doesn't look good. I saw on the, the Twitterverse, other people saying that. It looks like IGN Modern Warfare 2 got an 8 from, this was Seth Macy. But yeah, I mean, huge difference in score at least. So
Yeah. Also, I mean, the source content was a huge difference. I didn't really like the original Modern Warfare 3 nearly as much as Modern Warfare 2.
yeah, I can't even keep up with all of the naming convention stuff. Has confused the crap out of me of what's a remake, a retell, I mean, it's not, if you follow it, it's not too bad, but I've definitely gotten confused. So I'm not the expert to be telling you about that, but yeah, it's worth
Modern
saying
Warfare
that
10.
the campaign, I'm sure if we look back, in general, I believe they tend to get 7 to 9s. Like, everybody's usually pretty much like, the story is one of the like high polish reasons to definitely get your money's worth, so to speak. Unless you're exclusively a multiplayer gamer, which is a different perspective. But a lot of people do just enjoy the campaign. They feel like they got their money's worth because it was like so polished. But anyway, sounded like this one's problematic.
Black Ops Cold War or something like that recently. That was pretty fun. That was a good
Black Ops
campaign.
3. Yeah.
I think it was Cold War or something like that. You went back to time to like the Cold War. I can't remember. I don't, there's so many, like you said.
But that's what I'm saying. There's so many like extensions and but I'm not an expert. I think, again, if you keep up with it, it's not.
Yeah. I remember when I was big into Call of Duty too, is like the reviews didn't matter to me because I didn't care what you thought about the campaign because
it didn't give
I was
a damn.
only concerned about the multiplayer,
Yep.
Because I was going to put 1,000 hours into the multiplayer and possibly no time in the campaign.
Yeah. Yeah, GameSpot, SE Doster gave it a 5 out of 10.
Oh, well. Rave review. Did he call it boring?
I don't know.
It's like a video game that you don't have any fun in.
It's like a video game you don't have any fun in. Exactly. So not looking great on the campaign side.
No.
Well,
unfortunate.
On that note, should we wrap this one up?
Yes. Next week's gonna be a fun week. We got the Remnant. Also, The Last Faith comes out, which is an indie game I've been waiting for like years at this point.
What's that?
That comes out on the 15th.
The Last Faith?
Yeah, it's a Metroidvania.
Oh.
The graphics are the pixel graphics are so good.
Oh yes.
And it looks very Bloodborne. It's
it looks
like
Castlevania
pixel
to me.
Bloodborne. Oh, kind of, yeah, Castlevania, yeah.
Oh, I got
So I've been waiting
ads.
for this one for a while. I've heard really good things about the demo, which was out recently, and it comes out on Wednesday.
I don't know how all you use YouTube without getting YouTube Premium. All the ads on this site are like crazy. Oh, this looks awesome. This comes out next week?
Yep. November 15th.
Definitely
yeah,
getting
that's
this.
right.
This looks
They're
awesome.
probably like, son of a wait, why did Remnant announce that they're coming out the day before us?
Oh, this looks amazing, Watts. I can't wait to play this.
Yeah, it looks
this guy
great.
pretending like he's gonna play it.
I'm definitely gonna play it.
Yeah, right.
This is Brian's kind of game.
Yeah, this
You
is
can play
exactly
Spider-Man?
my kind of game. No, I don't really dig on Spider-Man too much.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's on my list. Everything's on my list.
Fran will never get to his list, so don't worry.
Oh, I will. See, you all think see, I'm never gonna retire.
It'll be
I'm just gonna
2027, and it'll be like,
like
all right,
a
guys, we're jumping into Remnant 2.
You just
Yeah,
gotta
I'd be like,
decide to arbitrarily hate stuff. That way it kind of narrows down your list a little bit. No, fuck Spider-Man.
You guys are too short-sighted. I'm be like a 79-year-old Twitch streamer. Like he's playing Baldur's Gate 3. Told you, Watts. Come on by. You guys short-sighted.
It'll be retro games at that point.
Briar finally jumps in chat. Hey, I finally played Pikmin, man. You were right.
It was amazing. All right, guys, thank you all for joining us. We'll see you next week with more SideQuest.
More SideQuest, and it will be the day before all the cool stuff happens. So I'll be like, yeah, it's cool. Good stuff.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye.